Finance Minister Tito Mboweni has warned public officials to curb their spending as the country faces a revenue shortfall. But not everyone seems to be concerned by the minister's proclamation. KwaZulu-Natal MEC of Education, that's Kwazi Mshengu, is reportedly paying around 100,000 rand a month to rent a Mercedes-Benz vehicle. That's despite his predecessor's car being available for him to use. Well, Mshengu speaks to us now from our Durban studios. MEC, good morning to you. Thank you for your time. What are your fears about your predecessor, Mr. Dlungwana's car?
Morning, Xoli, and thanks for having us. Let me answer this question, Xoli, as well as the article that appeared yesterday in 3 parts. The first one is that I have no fear to use whatever I inherited in that department, including the car. I'm using all other things that I got in the department, including retaining 50% of the staff that was working in the ministry. So I really have no fears. But in relation to the car, when I got to the department, I was advised that the car was not roadworthy, and it was not advisable for me to use it until it is being sorted out at the dealership. And I must indicate that that is the advice that came from the security unit as well as the transport unit in the department through the office of the HOD.
MEC, what exactly is wrong with the car, to your knowledge?
Well, I was advised that it is not roadworthy. They were still going to take it to Mercedes-Benz dealership because when they test drove it, it was leaning towards the right, as well as there were problems around the issue of starting the car. So I then said, if that is the case, I can also use my own personal vehicle because I do own a vehicle, which, by the way, has a larger engine capacity than the one that is being hired. And the HOD said to me that will be more expensive that will cost the department more than the car that we can hire. So I then decided to let's continue then hiring the car on the basis of the advice that the other car that was used by the former MEC is not roadworthy, but also that if I do use my personal car, it will cost the department more than we are renting.
MEC, how much are you paying on your current rented vehicle per month?
I'm advised that is 90,000 per month.
Per month. Now, MEC,
yes.
In your view, in fact, let me ask you this question. Is there correspondence between your department and the Mercedes-Benz dealership concerned? That's the Garden City Motors in Pietermaritzburg. Is there correspondence that you can share with us here right now?
I personally have never interacted with a Mercedes-Benz dealership because there are people responsible in the department to do that. I was told through the HOD that there is an internal communication between the department as well as the dealership. So that's where I left it because there are people who are employed and responsible to do that. So personally, I don't have a correspondence from Mercedes-Benz, and it will not have come to me in any way because I don't deal with such matters.
MEC, 90,000 rand per month on a rented vehicle. In your view, does that represent prudent use of taxpayers' money?
Well, I think I need to answer that in the context, Xoli, because it will obviously depend on the people's positions. I said to the department, I'm offering to use my personal car. And the HOD said, that will cost even above 100,000 a month if you use your personal car. Equally, you can't use the car that was used by the former MEC, which is the departmental's car, because it is not roadworthy. So I could not just walk into the grave when I'm advised that it is not roadworthy. Unfortunately, I can also not do any other way but to use a hired car until this issue is being sorted, because there's just no way I can execute my duties without using the car. So that is why I'm saying it will depend in the totality of things, as it were. By the way, I must also indicate that I'm the one MEC who has forsaken some of other things that are a benefit as per the ministerial handbook. The ministerial handbook, as a way of example, says I can have a domestic worker paid by the department. And I said, no, I can't use that. The ministerial handbook says the guardian services can also be paid by the department. And I said, I can do that in my own salary.
MEC.
My own kids. The ministerial handbook said they can be transmitted to schools, but I said no, because those are the things that are really not necessary and that will be costing taxpayers money unnecessarily.
MEC, as a final question to you, and very quickly, please, is any or are any of your departmental officials responsible for forging a letter purporting to be from this Mercedes-Benz dealership concerned?
Well, I will get that report from the HOD who's meeting everybody involved today. Then we'll see really whether it is a forged or it was just part of the internal communication. But I must also indicate clearly that I will be writing to the public protector to ask her to investigate all the claims as related to the article yesterday, because really I have nothing to hide. I'm one person who dedicated his life to serve the people, and I serve so without really expecting much in terms of return, except obviously to have means to execute my duties. So before the end of the week, I would have written to the public protector to request her to investigate the matter.
Thank you very much for your time. That's Gwazim Shengu. He is the KwaZulu-Natal MEC of Education.